Welcome everyone. I don't know if we have comments on YouTube live, so you can't say hi like Instagram, but we're gonna get started here in just a minute. So go ahead and make sure you have a nice space set up, hopefully a mat. You don't have to have a mat. Blocks if you have them. I don't have any with me today, so I won't use a lot of blocks for this flow, but they're always nice to have. So let's go ahead and get started this morning in a child's pose. You can come to your mat, and you always have the option in child's pose to keep your knees together. And in this variation, you're bringing a little more lengthening into the lower back and also compression into the front body, into your abdominal organs. Or you could take your knees out wide, keep your big toes touching, and this variation brings a little more opening into the hips. You can just walk your hands out long, rest your head on your mat. Just let your arms be soft here for these first few moments so the elbows can be bent, the forearms are resting on the ground. Take a full body breath in, feel the back body expanding as you're filling up. And you can just open your mouth, sigh it out. Let's do another big full body breath in, fill up. And an audible exhalation, let that go. Continue to deepen your breath, but breathing mostly in and out through the nose. Just feeling your body connecting with the earth, grounding down. Take one, maybe two more breaths here. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice this morning, you can take a moment. An intention doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a single word, a theme for your practice like patience or compassion, or it could be in the form of an affirmation. Sometimes I like to think of something like, I am strong and capable. Anything that you'd like to work on in your practice or in your day-to-day, hold that intention in your mind's eye and just take a big breath in, fill it up with air. And then sighing out any resistance to that intention, let it go. Your next breath in, you can slowly round forward to tabletop. You're on your hands and knees. Fingers are spread wide. Start to make some big circles here. Press into your fingertips, so you're starting to warm up your wrists, your forearms. And then take it the other direction a couple times. Good. Make sure your knees are hips width distance apart. As you're breathing in, let your belly soften down towards the ground. Take your gaze forward, come into a soft cow pose. As you're breathing out, press your back up towards the ceiling, rounding in, curl your chin to your chest, cat pose. Make it a long breath in. Think about wrapping your elbows towards the back of your mat, pulling the heart forward into your cow. And then make it an even longer breath out, curling in, pulling the lower belly up and back towards the spine, pausing. You might be moving a little faster than me. Try to match your movement with your breath. and challenge yourself to continue to lengthen and deepen your breath. So try to keep your breath, your movement nice and slow and steady. Take one or two more here. Maybe if it feels good in your cat pose, as you're curling inward, pressing your back up towards the ceiling, you can arch a little side to side, right to left. Back to your neutral tabletop. Start to walk your hands out long towards the front of your mat. Come to puppy pose. When you first start practicing puppy, you might just walk your hands forward and let your heart start to drop down towards the ground. Bring your forehead to your mat. Over time, as you're working deeper into the shoulders, the chest, the upper back, as your heart comes closer to your mat, you might keep your gaze between your fingertips and take your chin to the mat. Take a couple deep breaths here. Just imagine with every breath out, you're letting your heart drop in or drop down a little bit more. To press back into your hands, walk them underneath your shoulders. Now curling your toes underneath you. Super slow motion. Start to lift your knees, glide your hips up and back towards a bent knee, downward facing dog. So keep your legs nice and soft, knees are buoyant, almost like you were gonna jump off of your feet. Let your head drop down between your arms. Make sure your fingers are still spread nice and wide, gripping the ground. And let your shoulder blades relax down your back, like your ears are lengthening down towards your thumbs. You might bend into one knee a little more as you sink the opposite heel towards the ground, and then the next. Just pedal out your feet. So really press your feet into the ground as you're doing this as well. Start to open up the soles of the feet. All the tightness in the legs usually starts, it originates in the feet. With your next breath in, round forward to high plank. Pause here. Reset your hands, your feet if you need to move them at all. Now imagine you're pulling your lower belly up and back towards your spine, wrapping the ribs up and back, squeezing both thighs, pressing up and out of the shoulders a little bit so you're broadening across the upper back. See if you can lengthen forward through the crown of the head just a little tiny bit. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, glide the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Step your left foot a little more to the middle of your mat. Take a breath in, stretch the right leg up and back. As you exhale, curl knee to nose, rounding forward, pause. As you inhale, stretch the right leg up and back. Start to bend your right knee, stacking the right hip over the left, reach your right foot to your left. You can still have a generous bend in your left knee here. Try to keep your shoulders squaring towards the ground. They don't have to be completely square, but try not to let that right shoulder follow your right foot. So you might press the right shoulder back down. Let your head stay relaxed. One more breath. Maybe reaching the right knee a little higher. And as you inhale, come back to three-legged dog. As you exhale, curl knee to nose and step forward. Take your back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep your hands forward and up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Just feel what's going on here. You might be drawing your outer left hip forward, your outer right hip back. Maybe you're sinking in. But if your left hip feels lower than your right, or the right hip feels higher than the left, you might want to lift up out of your lunge a little bit. Try to find a nice neutral pelvis. Drop the outer right hip down. You can even feel the front and the back of your pelvis. Maybe you sink back in. Take one more breath here. Sweep the hands forward and up, looking up if it feels good. And as you exhale, bring it down. Lift your back knee, left hand under the left shoulder. Drag your feet towards each other as you inhale, reach your right arm up. Keep pulling navel to spine, keep dragging the feet towards each other. Take one more breath in, stretch the right arm long, stretch into your right side body. As you exhale, bring it down, frame your right foot. Press down, step back to downward facing dog. Just let your head relax. And step your right foot a little more to the middle of your mat. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose, high plank, press the ground away from you, round into the back. Inhale, stretch the left leg up and back. Start to bend your knee, stack left hip over right, reach your left foot to your right. You can keep a generous bend in your right knee if you need to. You might be thinking about pressing that left shoulder back down towards the ground. So try to square your chest, your shoulders more towards the ground. Let the head stay relaxed. Take at least one more breath here. Maybe reaching your left knee a little higher. As you inhale, come back through three-legged dog. Flex your foot, re-square your hips. Exhale, curl knee to nose and step forward. Take your back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep your hands forward and up. Exhale, hands to the hips. And again, just feel what's going on. You might be drawing your outer left hip back, your outer right hip forward. You might be lifting up out of your lunge a little bit. Just trying to notice if the left hip is higher than the right or the right hip's lower than the left. Find a level pelvis. See if you can drop that outer left hip down. Maybe even feeling the front and the back of your pelvis. If your tailbone tends to tilt back a lot, see if you can root it down. If not, don't worry about it too much. You might sink in a little bit more. Take one more breath in. Sweep the hands forward and up, maybe looking up. Exhale, bring it down. Lift your back knee. Right hand under the right shoulder. Drag your feet towards each other. Inhale, the left arm reaches up. Long line of energy from your right heel through the crown of the head. Keep dragging the feet towards each other. Navel to spine. One more breath in, maybe reaching your left arm long. Stretch your left side body. Exhale, bring it down. Press down. Step back to downward facing dog. Good. Again, you can just pedal your feet out, bend into one knee and the next. With your next breath in, round forward to high plank. As you exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Tops of the feet pressing down to the ground. As you inhale, start to peel your heart from the ground. Draw your elbows toward your glutes, broadening across the collarbones. Keep the back of the neck long, so you might only be gazing just ahead of the front of your mat. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, press the ground away from you, downward facing dog. Glide the hips up and back. Your next breath in, you can step, hop, jump, or tiptoe your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Find some length in the front body. You might bring your palms to your shins. As you exhale, let your knees bend, fold. Drape your belly over the tops of your thighs. Let your head hang heavy. Keep your knees a little bit soft here. With your next breath in, come all the way up to standing. Sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Keep your legs strong. You might have a soft bend in the knees if you tend to hyperextend your knees. Take a big breath in, gathering air. Reach up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, hands framing the right foot. Rock it back and forth once or twice. Sink your back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep the hands forward and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Start to twist towards your right. Left elbow on top of the right knee. Pressing the palms together. Spiral your gaze more to the right. Long line of energy from your knee up through the crown of the head. If you'd like to, curl the back toes underneath, start to lift the left knee. Let the crown of the head tilt forward. So there's now a long line of energy from your left heel through the crown of your head. Keep pulling navel to spine. Take 1, maybe 2 more breaths. Set your knee back down if you lifted it. Inhale, come back through center. Sweep the hands forward and up, maybe looking up. Exhale, bring it down to the ground. Lift your back knee. Walk your hands towards the back of your mat. Drop low into your left leg, low Skandasana. If it hurts to close your knee all the way, you can stay a little higher or use blocks. Fingertips on the ground or palms pressing together. Let the right toes point straight up. Dig your heel down and just softly drag it back towards you. Even if you have a little bend in your knee, give your hammies some extra room to breathe. Take at least 1 more breath here. Start to walk your hands back towards the front of your mat, framing the right foot. Listen carefully here. Press down. As you're breathing in, reach your right heel up and back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl knee to nose, rounding forward, high plank. Inhale, reach the right heel up and back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl knee to nose, high plank arms. This time as you inhale, stay in high plank. Shoot the right leg back. You can bring both feet to the ground as you lower through chaturanga, or maybe float the right leg. Inhaling into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, full breath out. You might set the left foot to the middle of the mat. Reach your right heel up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose. Step forward. Inhale, step your left foot forward, halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Rock it back and forth a couple times. Wake up those calf muscles. Sink your back knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep the hands forward and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Start to twist towards the left. Right elbow on top of the left knee. Press palms together. So you're drawing your thumbs more towards the sternum. Still pulling navel to spine. Long line of energy from your right knee through the crown of your head. Or if you want to tuck those back toes under, lift your back knee. You might let the crown of the head tilt forward a little bit. So now you have a long line of energy from your right heel through the crown of your head. Pressing palms together. Make sure you're still breathing. Drawing your outer left hip a little bit back and down towards your right heel or knee. If you lifted your back knee, go ahead and drop it down. As you inhale, recalibrate, sweeping the hands forward and up, maybe looking up. Exhale, bring it down. Lift that back knee. Walk your hands and your body towards the back of your mat. Sink low into the right leg. Low Skandasana. Again, you can keep it higher if you don't want to close that knee all the way. Fingertips on the ground or palms pressing together. Left toes are pointing skyward. Flex your foot. Dig your heel down and drag it back towards you, even if you have a little bend in your knee here. Start to walk your hands back towards the front of your mat. Facing forward, frame your left foot. Listen carefully. Press your palms down. As you inhale, reach your left heel up and back. 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl knee to nose, round it forward. Inhale, stretch it up. 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl knee to nose. Inhale, stay in high plank. Just shoot your left leg straight back. Squeeze your left thigh. Maybe with that left leg as you lower through chaturanga or bring both feet to the ground. Inhaling into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Take a full body breath in. Full body breath out. You might step your right foot a little more to the middle of your mat. Inhale, reach your left heel up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose and step forward. As you inhale, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Halfway lift, find some length. Exhale, fold, let the knees soften. Let your head hang heavy. Take a breath or two. Rooting down through your feet, keep the knees soft. With your next breath in, come all the way up to standing. Sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Stay strong and rooted down through your legs, through the soles of your feet. With your next breath in, reach the hands up, look up. As you exhale, fold it forward. Let the head relax. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back. Keep your back knee lifted this time. Set up for a standing crescent lunge. As you inhale, sweep the hands forward and up. As you exhale, let yourself drop in to the legs. Still thinking about drawing your outer left hip forward, your outer right hip back as you drop in. And you're reaching up through your hands, but you're still letting your shoulder blades drop down your back. If you have a tendency to flare the front body out, rein it back in. Wrap the ribs together. Sink a little lower. Take a breath in, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Start to twist to the right, left elbow on top of the right knee. Or you can modify. You can just bring your hand to a block or to the ground inside of the right knee. Now you're either pressing your palms together, maybe opening the arms out wide, maybe working with binding if that's a part of your practice right now. Totally optional. Wherever you are, keep strongly lifting through the back of the left knee. Finding length from that left heel through the crown of the head. Take at least one more breath here. Bringing the palms back together. If you open them, inhale, sweep the hands forward and up, finding your balance. Exhale to warrior two. Spiral the left heel down. The arms are parallel to the ground. Drop a little lower into your right knee. Gaze over the right fingertips. Start to straighten the right leg. Pivot your feet to face the left side of your mat. Take a breath in, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Pause here. Take a breath in, lift through the heart. Draw your elbows towards each other. As you exhale, start to fold in. You can have a little bend in your knees here if you'd like as you come down. Pause halfway. Fingertips under the shoulders. Now, let's bend into one knee and the next a couple times and just shift the hips side to side. And then pausing in the middle. Take a breath in, halfway lift, broaden the chest. As you exhale, fold all the way in. You can let your knees bend, let your head completely go. You can keep your hands where they are. You could walk them out and grab the outer ankles, opposite elbows. You could also walk your hands back away from you. Stick your palms down and maybe play with leaning in a little bit more. Your next breath in, come back up to halfway lifted. Walk your hands back towards the front of your mat. Frame your right foot. Left hand under the left shoulder. Take a breath in, reach your right arm up. You can stay here. Take a side plank of your choice. So hip opening side plank, turn all 10 toes to the right side of your mat. You're on the knife edges of both feet. Maybe dragging the feet towards each other to intensify. Modified side plank, left knee on the ground. Right foot towards the back of your mat. Full side plank. Feet can be stacking or staggered, and the feet are flexing a lot. Now lift the hips a little higher. Might feel like crunching into the left side body. Reaching up out of your left shoulder through your right fingertips. Take one more strong breath here. As you exhale, find your way to high plank. You might be stepping back to get there and flow your way to downward facing dog. Your next breath in, reach the right heel up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose, round it forward. Inhale, stretch your right heel up and back. Start to bend your right knee, step right hip over left, reaching your foot to your right. You can stay here for a couple breaths like we've done before, or all the way around to open up into wild thing. I actually like to lower the hips down towards the ground first, reach towards the back of your mat, and then when you're ready to fully expand, press into the feet, reach up, 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 out of the back of the heart, out of the left shoulder, press your hips as high as you can, and then maybe you start to reach long. Wherever you're reaching, you're looking at your hands still. Take a big breath into your front body. And as you exhale, slowly let your hips drop back down. Your right hand back to the top of your mat. Take a breath into three-legged dog. Exhale, curl knee to nose and step forward. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. Keep your back knee lifted, setting up for a standing crescent. Take a breath in, sweep the hands forward and up. As you exhale, let yourself drop in. So think about drawing your outer right hip forward, outer left hip back. Reining the ribs in if they're wanting to flare out. Keep sinking into the legs. Reaching up through the hands, let your shoulders drop down your back. Take one more breath in here, reaching up. As you exhale, pull your hands to your heart. Start to twist to your left, right elbow on top of the left knee. Press palms together. Again, you can stay here, pressing the hands together. You can start to open your arms. You could work on binding if you'd like. Wherever you are, make sure you're still breathing. Still strongly lifting through the back of that right leg. Still dropping into your lunging leg. At least one more breath. Draw your outer left hip back and down towards your right heel. Bring the hands back together if you open them. As you inhale, come back through standing crescent, reach forward and up. Exhale to warrior two. Spiral the right heel down. Drop into the left leg. Make sure you can still see your big toe inside of your knee. Gaze over the left fingertips. Start to straighten the left leg. Pivot your toes to face the left side of your mat. Take a breath in, reach your hands up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Take a breath in, lift through the heart, draw your elbows towards each other. As you exhale, you can have a little soft bend in the knees as you start to hinge forward. Fingertips under the shoulders when you're halfway. Bend into one knee in the neck, your hips side to side. Pausing with both legs long. Take a breath in, halfway lift, broaden your chest. As you exhale, fold all the way in. You can have a soft bend in your knees still. Try to let the head completely relax. Again, you can keep your hands where they are. You can grab your outer ankles, opposite elbows, or maybe play with walking your hands long away from you, sticking your palms down to the ground, and then leaning in a little bit more. Take a couple deep breaths. Your next breath in, come back up to halfway lifted. Walk your hands towards the front of your mat, framing your left foot. Right palm firmly planted under the right shoulder. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Again, you can stay here or side plank of your choice. Hip opening side plank. Turn all 10 toes to the left side of your mat. Flex your feet a lot. Lift that back ankle bone from the ground. Maybe drag the feet towards each other. Modified side plank. Right knee on the ground. Left foot to the back of your mat. Full side plank. Feet stacking or staggered. And flexing a lot. Now lift your hips a little bit higher. This might feel like crunching into your right side body. Reach up out of your right shoulder through your left fingertips. Take one more strong breath. And as you exhale, bring it back down, all the way to your high plank. Flow your way to downward facing dog. Step your right foot a little more to the middle of your mat. Take a breath in, sweep the left leg up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Start to bend your knee, stack left hip over right. Again, you can stay here for a couple breaths. If you'd like to flip your dog, open up into wild thing, slow motion. Control it, step all the way around. You can lower your hips towards the ground first, reach the back of your mat. As you're ready to expand, press your hips up. Reach up out of the back of the heart, out of the right shoulder. Then maybe long, wherever you're reaching, you're still looking at your hand, still pressing the hips as high as you can. Take a big breath into your front body. And as you exhale, let your hips drop back down as you spiral your left hand to the top of your mat. Take a breath into three-legged dog, reach your left heel up and back. Exhale, curl knee to nose, step forward. Inhale, step the right foot forward to meet the left, halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold. Your feet can be about hips width distance apart here. Grab opposite elbows, let your knees bend a lot, and drop your head. Now, bend your left knee a lot. Let the right leg start to straighten and bring your left elbow towards the outer left calf. So you're kind of stretching longer into your right side body. Start to come back through center, let both knees bend. Square your chest to your thighs. Keep the right knee bent a lot, start to straighten the left leg. So press into that left foot. Draw your right elbow towards your outer right calf. Stretch longer into the left side body. Let both knees bend, come back through center. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your front body, lengthen your legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, start to come all the way down towards seat. We'll scoot back a little bit so we can straighten the legs out long. We're actually just going to keep the right leg straight here. Bring your left knee in towards you. Drop that left knee out to your left side. So the sole of your foot's pressing into your inner right thigh. Flex your right foot a lot. Take a breath in, sweep your hands up, find some length. As you exhale, reach towards the front of your mat, but imagine you're not just going to grab your foot here. Imagine you're reaching forward from your heart towards your toes. So you're lengthening, you're keeping that length in the front body as you hinge from the hips. Maybe you grab your foot, maybe use a strap here. Maybe you just let your hands chill out at the side. So just letting go of the idea that there's some sort of tug of war going on. And rather than rounding into the back, trying to bring your forehead to your knee, keep that length in the front body. Keep your heart shining towards your toes. Just take some breaths, feeling your limit, feeling your boundary, not trying to just force past it, just feeling it and breathing into it. With your next breath in, come back up to seated. Lift your left knee, step your left foot outside of the right thigh. Keep that right foot flexing. Left hand down at your side. It might be a little bit behind you. Take a breath in, reach your right arm up. As you exhale, start to twist to the left. You can hook your elbow outside of your knee, pressing just to lift through the heart a little bit. So don't try to press to crank more into the lower back. You can actually hurt yourself that way. So let the twist start to originate from your core. Lift through the heart, spiral the gaze back. With every breath in, focus on finding length up through the crown of the head. With every breath out, you might twist a little bit. Your next breath in, start to unwind, come back to face the front of the mat. You can release that left foot, start to take your leg out long, bring your right knee in, drop it out to the side, right foot's pressing into the inner left thigh. Keep your left foot flexing, take a breath in, reach your hands up, find some length. As you keep that length in the front body as you hinge from the hips, reach towards the front of your mat, reaching towards your toes from your heart. So the chest is still lifted and broad. You can grab your foot, you can use a strap, you can just let your hands rest and relax out at the side so you're not pulling and tugging so much. Ideally, our forward folding is coming more from internally, from our core strength, from opening the back line, hamstrings, and the back body. And this happens over time, not forcefully. So you just want to, again, keep that length in the front body, keep your heart shining forward, and as you find your limit, as you find your boundary, use your breath to just soften your mind. It's usually your mind you're working to soften, but the mind controls the muscles. So sitting in that space, take at least one more good breath here. And with your next breath in, come back up to seated. You can lift the right knee, step your right foot outside of the left thigh. Keep your left foot flexing. Right hand at your side, maybe a little bit behind you. Take a breath and reach your left arm up. Find some length in the left side body. As you exhale, twisting from your core, you can hook that left elbow outside of the right knee. But again, we're not hooking the elbow to just crank into the lower back. I want your twisting to originate from your muscles, and then if you are pressing with that elbow at all, you're just lifting through the heart, drawing that right shoulder back and down, maybe gazing back. With every breath in, find length through the crown of your head, get a little bit taller. With every breath out, you might twist more. With your next breath in, start to unwind, come back to face the front of the mat. You can release that foot. We're going to come back to lay. So you can just have your feet hips width distance apart. Reach your hands towards the front of the mat, palms facing the ceiling. Try to keep your feet glued down here. Energetically keep reaching forward through your fingertips as you start to curl your tailbone towards the front of your mat. So we're crunching into the front body. Still shooting beams of energy through the fingertips, reaching forward to slow your roll all the way back to lay. If you feel like maybe right here you're going to lose control and just fall back, hold that space there. It'll get a little lower every time you practice this. Keep curling the tailbone forward. It might start to feel like you're curling it up towards the ceiling as you roll back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all back. Knees are bent. Draw your right leg in, right ankle over the left knee. Flex the right foot. Press your right knee towards the front of your mat. Draw your left leg in. You can grab underneath your thigh or in front of your left knee or shin. And just take some deep breaths here. Keep the right foot flexing, revolving the knife edge of your right foot towards the outer left thigh. Draw your breath, your attention, your intention all the way down into your lower back, your outer right hip. And just breathe. You can still have that ocean sound to the breath, that audible quality to the breath here. Release both feet to the ground. Take your left ankle over the top of your right knee. Flex your left foot. Press the left knee towards the front of the mat as you draw your right leg in towards you. Again, grab a hold of the right leg, maybe underneath your thigh, maybe in front of your shin, your knee. Keep your left foot flexing a lot. And just think of guiding that right knee towards the right shoulder. Check in with your breath. Take a couple more breaths all the way down into the lower back, the outer left hip. Release both feet back to the ground here. Cactus your arms, dip your knees side to side. Draw the knees in towards you. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Draw your legs out wide here. Happy baby. Rock side to side. Your feet can be slightly flexed. You're driving your knees down towards the ground as you draw the legs out wide. And then sometimes it feels good to straighten one leg while you bend the other a lot. Or maybe you straighten both legs. And even there, if you're working on the straddle baby, both legs long, you can still rock side to side. Take as long as you like with any final movements here. If there's anything else you feel that you needed in your practice today. And then in your own timing, you can start to find your way to Savasana. Just take the legs out long. Let your feet rest at least mat's width distance apart. Hands out at your sides. The palms can roll open towards the sky. Just get any last little movements out here. So you can shake your feet out. You can drop your head side to side. Let the eyes close if they haven't. All together, let's take a big, full body breath in. Fill it up. Audible exhalation, sigh it out. One more, even bigger breath, fill it up. And making some sound, let that go. Allow your body to get a little bit heavier. Let the breath return to normal. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle out your fingers and your toes. You can circle your wrists, your ankles. And then taking a big waking up breath in, stretch your arms long behind you, reach from fingers to toes. As you exhale, hug your knees in towards you. Wrap your arms around your legs, curl your forehead in towards your knees. If you want a little extra upper back stretch, keep hugging those legs and pull the knees away from you. And keep rounding the forehead inward. You can rock and roll back up to seated or roll to your side body and press yourself back up. So just keep the eyes soft for these last few moments. Let's take the right palm over the heart, left palm over the right. Energetically lift the heart into the hands and bow your head inward. You can bring your intention from the beginning of this practice back to mind. And simply thank yourself for dedicating the last 45 minutes to building energy towards this intention, moving your body, moving your breath, just kind of cleaning house. And take the palms together, thumbs to the third eye between the eyebrows. With so much gratitude, I thank each and every single one of you for tuning in and sharing this practice with me from your homes. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. It's nice and rainy here in Austin today, so probably be hanging out inside. Yeah, drink a lot of water. Call your moms. I wish I could see comments from you guys. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I will be on tomorrow, YouTube, Black Swan YouTube live stream at 5:30. Oh, hey, hi, Madison. 5:30 tomorrow and 5:30 on Sunday. So, thank you. Is that Allie? Thank you, Allie. Oh. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye, Christopher.